The smell of old case files, black coffee, and mystery hung heavy in the air. Your boots echoed against the tiled floor as you marched through the glass corridors of the Shadow Bureau, one of the most elite yet secretive detective agencies in the country, and you were one of their top agents. Tough, brilliant, intimidating, the kind of woman who could shoot a criminal in the kneecap without flinching and then recite the criminal code while walking away. You didn't smile much, didn't bother with office politics, and definitely didn't take orders unless they made sense. Well, except when they came from him. John Jungkook, your boss, the youngest head detective the bureau had ever seen, always in black, always composed, always looking like he had walked out of a noir drama with unresolved trauma and an untouched cappuccino. He never smiled either, but lately you caught him doing something else when you weren't looking, staring. Agent, he called as you entered the conference room that morning, flipping open your case file. Sir, you said, not looking up. He watched you from across the table, fingers tapping lightly on his tablet. You were working on the Iris case, a high profile serial blackmail operation involving powerful politicians, stolen footages, and a lot of dead ends, and you were the lead. Update? He asked. You stood flipping the projector on. We traced the last two victims to a common location, a fake beauty clinic downtown. I'll be heading there tonight for a stakeout. Undercover. His jaw tightened. Alone? You got someone better? There was silence. You thought he would argue. He didn't. Be careful, he said instead, softer than you had ever heard him. You blinked, lips twitching slightly. Always am. What you didn't know was that he had spent the night before reading your entire case log, not because he doubted you, but because he admired you, your instincts, your grit, your fire, and because every time you stormed past his desk with that determined glare in your eyes and coffee in hand, something in him cracked. But he would never tell you that. Later that night, the city was dark, humming with neon lights and secrets. You sat in your car a few blocks from the fake clinic, watching the entrance through your side mirror. Disguised in a crimson dress, heels abandoned in the backseat, and a fake medical badge, you waited for your moment. The clinic lights went out. You moved silently, swiftly, like a damn shadow. Inside, you found evidence, a hard drive, photos, names, proof that the operation went deeper than expected. You texted Jungkook. Got something. Heading back. I'm still at headquarters. Be careful. You smiled faintly. He was always there when it mattered. You arrived back at headquarters just before 3 a.m. Heels in one hand, hard drive in the other, and a line still buzzing in your veins. You didn't expect anyone to be there except maybe the janitor and your second cup of coffee. But as you walked toward the file room, voices reached your ears. Soft, low, familiar. You paused near the door, curious. One voice was Jungkook's, the other Taejin, his childhood best friend, and annoyingly very charming. I'm telling you, Taejin, someone on the inside is feeding them info. Tejan sitting casually on the edge of a desk, glue on his coffee. Yeah, well, maybe if you would stop skipping meals and start sleeping like a normal human, you would think clearer. Jungkook didn't respond. He was laser focused, flipping open the latest folder, but his hands were trembling slightly. Taejin noticed. Hey, he said, putting the cup down. Seriously, you good? Jungkook didn't look up. I'm fine. Taejin stood and walked over. Your version of fine usually ends with a panic attack or a desk getting punched. Jungkook didn't respond. So Taejin did what he always did when Jungkook started spiraling. He got in his space, literally. He grabbed Jungkook by the shoulders and pushed him back gently against the file cabinet. Breathe, he said. Jungkook's eyes flashed. Get off. You are shaking. I said get off. Then breathe, idiot. Taejin stepped even closer and reached into his pocket, pulling out a peppermint. Here, sugar spike might help. Jungkook sweated it away. You're not my mom. Taejin popped the candy into his own mouth. You are right, your mom likes me more. Jungkook almost smiled. Almost. But then Taejin started coughing hard. The peppermint had gotten stuck. Jungkook's instincts kicked in. He spun Taejin around and started the hammer, trying to dislodge the candy. It didn't work. Taejin turned, gasping, eyes wide. Without thinking, Jungkook cupped the back of Taejin's head and tilted him forward slightly. Tilt, open your mouth, damn it. In that moment, Taejin stumbled, grabbing Jungkook's jacket to keep from falling. And that's when it happened. Their faces collided. Just a second, a breath. Taejin's lips brushed Jungkook's. Not a kiss, just a collision. But from the outside, it looked exactly like one, and that's exactly when you walked in. You barely caught a second of it, but it was enough to short circuit your entire nervous system. You froze like a bug caught in high beam headlights. They pulled apart just as you gasped. Taejin looked surprised. Jungkook looked like he just got smacked by a folder full of regrets, and you turned around and walked out like you hadn't just witnessed the most confusing plot twist of your life. Standing in the elevator with your mouth slightly open and your brain rebooting, you whispered to yourself, did I just find out my boss is gay? Then a pause, and maybe in love with his best friend? Your heart beat. And I liked him? You stared at your reflection in the mirror lined wall. Congratulations, you had just cracked the one case you never meant to solve, your crush on your possibly gay boss. It was official. You needed therapy, or at least a break, or better yet, you needed to start acting completely normal around them so no one suspects you saw anything. Spoiler, you did not act normal. You didn't sleep that night. How could you? Every time you closed your eyes, you saw it. Jungkook, Taejin, lips in contact. Probably, maybe, you weren't sure anymore. But what you were sure of was that you were going to be mature, supportive, and professional. You were not going to make it weird. Spoiler, you made it so weird. You strutted into the bureau in sunglasses, a scarf, even though it was July, and holding your coffee cup like it was holy water, warding off awkward energy. Jungkook was already at the front of the meeting room, sleeves rolled, eyes scanning reports like usual, sharp, focused, deadly, and then his gaze landed on you. Morning, he said. You froze mid-step, your voice cracking like an old radio. Hey, sir, boss, chief, commander, captain of emotions. He blinked. The entire room turned to look at you. You cleared your throat. I mean, Detective John. He tilted his head. You okay? You nodded, avoiding eye contact with him. Jungkook found you by the whiteboard, scribbling notes for the iris case. You were aggressively drawing red arrows between victim names and labeling them cannot be trusted. He stepped beside you. You instantly stepped 2 feet away. His brows twitched. You have been acting weird since last night. You laughed awkwardly. No, I've just embraced boundaries. You know, space, comfort zones, safe bubbles. I'm not contagious. Didn't say you were. You didn't look at him all this time. Jungkook folded his arms. Is this about something you think you saw? You stiffen. I don't see things. I detect. I observe. I interpret. So you did see something. You turned sharply. No, I saw nothing. You and Tejan are free to be whatever you are. Bros, besties, bonded by peppermint CPR. Jungkook looked like he was buffering again. What are you talking about? You backed away. Listen, I just want you to know I'm so happy for you and proud. The world is changing. Love wins. Rainbow shine. Closet doors open. What closet? He snapped. You gasped. I knew it. He looked half ready to throw a chair. You think I kissed Tejan? You blinked, didn't you? It was CPR. He choked on a mint. He nearly died. You frowned. Wait, really? You weren't gay kissing? He dragged a hand down his face. What even a gay kiss? You squinted. The one with feelings. Oh my god. As if summoned by chaos, Tejan strolled in sipping bubble tea. Yo, am I famous now? Heard I was part of a scandal, he said, winking at you. You glared at him. Next time someone is dying, can we avoid mouth to mouth with romantic lighting? He burst out laughing. I told you to back off. Jungkook hissed at him. You're the one who panicked and cradled my jaw like we were in a drama. Tejan shot back. You raised a hand. I would like to file an emotional harassment report. Jungkook sighed deeply. I can't believe this is my life. You chuckled while walking away but stopped at the door. Well, you guys are kinda cute together. Jungkook looked at you in disbelief. You were assigned to patrol the south quadrant alone again. As you grabbed your gear, Jungkook approached you in the hallway. You really thought I was gay? He asked, quieter now. You looked away. Doesn't matter. It does, especially when the woman I like starts saluting me and treating me like I'm radioactive. Your steps froze. You turned back sharply. What? I like you, he said, dead serious. And no, I don't like Tejan. Not like that. I haven't kissed anyone in my life like that. You stared at him. That's honestly kind of sad. You whispered. He rolled his eyes. Not the point. What is the point? The point is, I don't care if you saw something. I care that it made you pull away from me. Your lips parted and then dispatch called. You were needed on patrol. You grabbed your coat, heartbeat in your ears, and as you walked past him, you said, let's talk when I get back, Detective John. He watched you leave, and this time he was the one left speechless. The night air wrapped around the streets like a cold whisper, the kind that hinted that something was about to go wrong or finally fall into place. You checked your earpiece, tucked your jacket closer, and walked down the dim alley near the abandoned theater in District 4. Word on the street was that the Iris case's next drop off was happening here. You weren't sure if you were tracking a syndicate or a ghost. But your mind wasn't focused on the case. It was him, Jungkook, the man who had been living in your head rent free since the first day you saw him fix a lie detector machine with one hand and throw a knife with the other. But tonight it wasn't just about admiration anymore, not after he dropped the bomb, I like you. You hadn't even processed it properly, you just left, like a coward, like someone afraid of breaking whatever barrier you two had maintained. You gritted your teeth and cursed softly. Stupid timing, stupid mint, stupid lips. You sat inside the old surveillance van watching the blurry feed from a traffic cam pointed toward the alley. Nothing yet, just a few drunk students stumbling by and a cat that looked like it owned Texas. You sipped your energy drink and leaned back, and then the back door creaked open. You nearly pulled your taser. Relax, it's me. You didn't need to look to know the voice. You narrowed your eyes. What are you doing here? Jungkook stepped in, dressed in all black tactical gear, dark shirt, bulletproof vest, gloves. His jaw clenched, his hair tousled like he had been pacing for hours. I requested solo patrol. You said sharply. He shrugged. I'm your boss. I override things. You override boundaries too. I override stupidity. He shot back, like avoiding me after I finally say something real. You inhaled deeply. You chose the worst moment to confess. You stepped closer. There was no good moment. You barely give me a moment. You're always storming in and out of rooms like you are being chased by your own brilliance. You blinked. Was that a compliment? Don't let it go to your head. You turned to the monitor. I'm working. So am I. He muttered, and then there was silence. Tension thick as bulletproof glass. Wait, you said suddenly and leaned closer to the monitor. A man in a hoodie walked into frame. He looked around before disappearing down the alley. He's here, you said, grabbing your comb. I'll follow you. Jungkook said, reaching for his gun. You hesitated. You sure? Wouldn't want your boyfriend to worry. He groaned. Are we seriously still on this? Sorry, sarcasm is a defense mechanism. Then let me be your offense. He replied. You turned stern. What does that even mean? It means, he moved closer. You act like you are untouchable, but you are not. You get nervous when I am too close. You deflate. You throw punches instead of feelings. Your heart pounded, but I see you, he said quietly, and I like what I see. This is not the time for this conversation. He smiled faintly, then catch the guy and we'll talk after. You tailed the suspect through the alley, Jungkook covering your six. The man entered the old theater and you slipped in silently, your gun drawn. It was dark, dust everywhere, the smell of rust and old paper. You saw him crouching near the stage, placing a USB drive under on one of the seats. You turn your mic on. Suspect is cracked. Your foot hit a piece of glass. The suspect looked up and bolted. Go! Jungkook shouted. You ran. Down the stage, through old corridors, up a rusty staircase. You were fast, but so was the suspect. You tackled him from behind, pinning him down. Shadow Beauty, you hissed, don't move. Jungkook reached seconds later and cuffed him. Back on the rooftop, the suspect, secured and unconscious, You and Jungkook leaned against a wall, catching your breath. The stars were out, the city pulsed below. You looked at him. So, he turned to you. You asked softly, "You mean it?" His eyes didn't waver. Every word. You crossed your arms. Even the part where you said, "I avoid you because I'm scared." Yes. Even the part where you said, "I get nervous when you're close." He stepped toward you. "Are you nervous now?" You swallowed. Yes. "And what if I kissed you?" You stared at him. "Don't test me." "Why not?" "Because I'll kiss you first." That caught him off guard. His lips parted. "Do it." Your fingers gripped his collar before you even processed it. You kissed him, fast, rough, a little angry but honest. His hands found your waist, pulling you closer. The rooftop disappearing, the city noise gone. Just him, just you. No misunderstandings. No best friends, CPRs, just heat and truth, and everything unsaid finally landing exactly where it was supposed to. You pulled away first, both of you breathless. "That was extremely unprofessional." You said, "Any smug, then fire me." You chuckled, "I might." Before you do, he reached for your hand, squeezing it lightly. "Can I take you to dinner that doesn't involve a chase?" You nodded. "Only if you promise no more CPR incidents." He grinned, "Deal."